This is going to be where the new exhibit is going to be, in this area right here. You can see they're still working on it and getting all the walls painted and prepped before they move any artifacts in. This is kind of a thing to let people know what it is coming. And it's scheduled for 14 September to open. And this is the NADU exhibit, Navy Experimental Diving Unit. Some of their artifacts, helmets mostly, rebreathers. Here's an old diving helmet here. Have the Navy Nomad, also known as the gym suit. And this is the marine mammal exhibit here. Bottlenose dolphin. Sea lion up here. Talks about how they're transported, and how they're trained. This is the remnants of a hull torpedo that they found off of San Diego. When they were training the sea lions and dolphins, they kept getting indications that they detected some of it. They didn't believe them. And then when it happened again, they actually sent divers down there and they recovered this. They don't have the forward section, but they have the midsection and the after body. So that's pretty cool. Back here they show some of the things that they use to recover artifacts underneath the ocean, including people. They have object recovery, intruder defense, which they swim up to you and it clamps it around your thigh. It has echo beacons on it. And also, they were used in the Iraqi war, and here's an Iraqi mine that they discovered. And this is the children's play area that used to be up towards the front, but had to be moved because of the new exhibit. And let kids dress up in these little uniforms or whatever. Mom and Dad can take pictures. And here we have the submarine technology area. There's a hatch right here the kids can go through. Typical hatch on a ship. The modern submarines are all round instead of oval and much larger. Air breathing manifold, EAB, and some synthetic injuries that they use for drills. The top part of a periscope and what it looks like on the inside. Then we have the strategic deterrence display. Talks about all the different things during the Cold War, the triad and the submarine-based missile systems. That's the missile launch console. It's an older one. And they got submarine patches. Still haven't found the Abraham Lincolns. I think it's behind part of the panel. This is the third stage of a Trident missile carrying the re-entry bodies, which are the black cone-shaped objects. The thing in the middle is the actual third stage motor. And this is the Greenland control room, where you can kind of see what a fast attack submarine is, how it's laid out. Dimension-wise, it's correct, but there's a lot more equipment on a real submarine. You do not have this much space. This is the radar repeater and the sonar, fathometer, I shouldn't say, not really the sonar, fathometer. The ballast control panel, which they use to trim the boat. They can pump water from the after ballast or the after trim tanks to the forward trim tanks and anywhere in the middle. They raise and lower all the masts and antennas from here. You can see ventilation, main ballast tank vents, different other mast controls. Up here you would have ESM and you would have VLF and radar and so on. These are commonly called the chicken switches, but they're actually the emergency blow system switches, and they're normally in that position. And when you have to emergency blow, you do that, and it lets air pressure go to specific valves that dump the air tanks directly into the ballast tanks, forcing out all the water. This is a ship's control station. The station outboard here is called the outboard station. Normally controls the stern planes, helps put the angle on the submarine. The inboard station is your rudder and your fairwater planes. He's the one responsible for the course and maintaining depth. They can be switched. You can do everything from one if you really needed to. Normally, though, they're separation of duties. And somebody left an old guide. This is the gyro compass down here. Normally, depending on the class of submarine, it can be located in many different areas. On the two boats that I was on, they were located in the torpedo room. This is the torpedo fire control system. This is what I worked on and I had operated. This was my job. The black panel here is the firing panel, where you prepare the tubes for firing. And let's put that down. And to fire, once everything was ready to go to fire a torpedo, you would actually, there was a knob here, you lift up on it, go to the standby position, you would get indications that everything was ready to fire, and then you would go to the fire position. These displays that you're seeing are just projection on a piece of plastic. That's not what they really look like. A lot of the displays would be confidential, so they don't have the real thing. And plus you need a computer to drive it, cooling water to cool the consoles and so on. So it was a compromise. This is the Mark 19 plotter. It was used to plot on ship's position and project where we were going to be. There was a little light projection that projected a little bug that would move in relation to the ship. So you could lay down graph paper when you were tracking contacts and plot the bearings and own ship's track at the same time, and then solve for the solution. This is the submarine escape suit. This is the modern submarine escape mechanism. Didn't have these when I was on board. We had what was called a stanky hood, and that's right over here. This is a stanky hood. This is what I trained on and what we used on our submarine if we had to escape. This is a diving bell where they lowered it down and it could attach to the sub, and they can haul some people out if they needed to. It was replaced by the DSR